All right, welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're digging into your source material on some pretty advanced video processing hardware.
Yeah, specifically the tvONE CORIOview.
Right. And our mission here is to get past the spec sheet on this one model, the MWP-4Y-1Y, and really understand why it's being called a highly skilled digital conductor.
I mean, that's a good way to put it. It's really a tool built to fight information overload.
Okay, so how does it do that?
At its core, it takes multiple, completely disparate inputs and harmonizes them onto one single display.
And when you see the price point, what is it? The MWP-4Y-1Y is listed at $7,365.
Exactly. That price tells you immediately we are not talking about consumer electronics. This is for mission-critical, professional-grade situations.
Okay, so let's unpack what allows it to, conduct this visual orchestra. What's the brain here?
Well, the brain would be the Corio 3 technology. That's what's built to manage up to 8 windows, pulling from up to 8 different sources all at once.
8 sources. That's a lot of synthesis happening in real time.
And what's fascinating is how versatile that power is. We might immediately picture these massive city-sized control rooms.
Yeah, that's the first thing that comes to mind.
But the applications span everything from those huge installations all the way down to small huddle rooms and just standard meeting spaces.
So hold on, isn't that massive overkill for a standard meeting space?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't a cheaper, simpler box do the job?
The difference really comes down to stability and, surprisingly, physical footprint.
The footprint.
Yeah, the device is a compact half-rack unit. That's critical for system integrators because it means they can put 2 of them side by side in a really limited space, like a mobile command unit.
And they run ultra quiet, I see.
Mm-hmm. And the connectivity flexibility is huge. It can handle a real mixed bag of inputs. IP feeds, standard HDMI, SDI, and DVI-U.
That's the one that handles both digital and analog signals.
That's the one. It's a universal input.
Okay, that's a great technical bridge, but let's look at the output. Your sources show it outputs to a single HDMI display up to 4K resolution. But here's where the insight comes in. It supports 4K at 60 Hz input, but typically outputs at 4K at 30 Hz. Why the drop?
That drop is a really critical design choice. It's a trade-off.
The trade-off for what, exactly?
For guaranteed stability. The device is sacrificing that higher frame rate for artifact-free window scaling and blending, even when it's under a heavy load. It's built for a clean composition over raw speed.
And how it optimizes that finished composition depends on where it's being used, right?
Yeah.
It's where these 2 different modes come in.
Exactly. You have the classic mode.
Okay.
Think of this as the precision setting for the technician in a control room. If you need granular control over details like source labels, border weights, audio routing, you're in classic mode.
It's about total command.
Total command. Then you have dynamic mode.
This is for collaboration.
Purely for collaboration and speed. Perfect for those huddle rooms we mentioned. It automates the windowing and just streamlines the whole process when a quick setup is what you need.
Got it. And you mentioned audio. We can't overlook that.
No, the system supports something called audio breakaway.
Which lets me listen to audio from source A while I'm watching the video from source B.
Precisely. Imagine a security room where you need constant audio monitoring from one camera feed, even while you're visually tracking another. That's what it's for.
And you can get that audio out via a dedicated port or the main display.
Yep, either SPDIF or through the display connection.
So once it's all installed, how do users actually manage the symphony?
Well, you've got a few options. There's deep control available through the Choreographer software. You can integrate it via an API or use third-party plugins from AMX and Crestron.
But that API setup, that's not exactly plug and play. That's a specialist-only job, I assume.
It definitely requires a specialized setup, but the customization features make it worthwhile for the system designer. You get 16 presets accessible right from the front panel for quick changes.
But the real killer app here seems to be the custom resolution editor.
Oh, absolutely. For anyone working with non-standard setups, especially those really specialized LED walls, that feature is a lifesaver. It saves just painful hours during installation.
And that professional reliability is backed up by the hardware specs. It's not just the compact size, it's the mean time between failures, the MTPF.
It's specified at 50,000 hours. That's robust.
That's the kind of longevity a professional operation demands.
That's what the investment is for. The promise that this device will just disappear into the workflow and stay operational for years.
So what does this all mean then? The tvONE CORIOview is essentially the tool that prevents cognitive chaos. It takes all these diverse video streams, all those separate instruments, and just organizes them into a single, focused performance.
Which raises an important question for you, the listener.
Go on.
If this hardware is dedicated to managing diverse inputs and optimizing them for a single, focused visual output, doesn't that technical principle mirror the exact challenge you face every single day?
You mean managing information?
Yeah. Taking complex mixed data and synthesizing it into digestible windows so you can decide which source deserves your attention.
Something to think about the next time you try to turn 8 different research papers into one concise report.